News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A trial date set for accused murderer in Missoula. Good morning. This is John King filling in for Peter Christian. It's Wednesday, March 9th, 2016, and this is Montana Morning. It's currently 30 degrees outside with some light snow falling, believe it or not. Your newscast brought to you by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. For all of your excavation needs, call Glenn at 214-4292. A trial date for 30-year-old Emmanuel Gomez, the man accused of deliberate homicide in the death of 26-year-old Charlie Ann Wyrick, has been set for September 21st. The Missoulian reports that District Judge Karen Townsend said the trial would probably last about 6 days. Gomez is accused of beating and stabbing Wyrick and then dumping her body off the road in the Deer Creek drainage near Patty Canyon. Gomez could face life in prison if convicted. He remains in the Missoula County Jail on $1 million bond. Missoula police are seeking information about 2 women who attempted a wire transfer on Monday in Missoula. Police Public Information Officer Travis Welsh explains why.
2 adult females entered a location in the 2100 block of Brook Street to complete a wire transfer of money. The 2 women completed the transfer. However, it was soon discovered that the money that they provided was counterfeit. Fortunately, the transaction was canceled. However, 2 women are still at large.
A large number of the bills involved in that transfer were counterfeit, and Welsh says that the public should be on the lookout.
Both are white females. One is anywhere from 5'3" to 5'5", approximately 300 pounds. She has dirty blonde, shoulder-length hair and is about 50 years of age. The second female is about 5'6". She has brown hair, is between 35 and 45 years of age, also said to have a tattoo on the left side of her neck that is possibly a butterfly.
Anyone who recognizes these 2 women are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 721-4444. Welsh says that information about this case will be communicated to the Secret Service's Counterfeit Currency team. Montana court officials are expressing alarm over a steep rise in child abuse and neglect cases. Since 2010, the number of cases handled by the state's district courts has more than doubled. That troubling statistic was part of a report Tuesday delivered to the state legislature's Law and Justice Interim Committee. Beth McLaughlin, the administrator for the state's district courts, says that a rise in meth use among parents could be the reason behind the rise in those abuse cases, but she acknowledged that the information is just anecdotal. The number of cases in the state's largest county, Yellowstone, more than doubled from 223 to 512 in just the last 2 years. Courts across Montana handled more than 2,300 abuse cases and neglect cases. That's up from 1,600 cases in 2014. On Monday, District Judge Ray Dayton of Anaconda heard arguments from Bozeman Republican Art Whittick in preparation for a major Montana campaign finance case set to occur on March 28th. Whittick is accused of accepting illegal campaign contributions, and Whittick's attorney, Quentin Rhodes, argued during the pretrial hearing that Montana Commissioner of Political Practices Jonathan Modell was unfairly targeting Whittick.
Why is it that only Republicans are bad people? Maybe it's the Commissioner of Political Practices and, kind of his view of the world that colors whether he's willing to resolve these cases with nominal fines or whether he wants to sue people in district court and remove them from office and subject them to bankrupting fines.
Rhodes pointed out that Modell was appointed by Democratic Governor Steve Bullock and that recent evidence indicates that Modell has not been acting in an independent manner.
Commissioner Modell is coordinating with the governor's office secretly. One of the top officials in his administration, Jim Malloy, has been privy to communication with Modell's office regarding the new regulations that have been implemented, and that was disclosed only through Freedom of Information Act disclosures, and that shows that either he was also consulting with top Republicans or he's not independent, and of course there's no evidence that he ever consulted with any Republicans.
Whether or not Modell will actually testify during the trial is yet to be decided. Whittick's team asked the judge to consider dismissing the charges and to consider barring Modell from testifying. Judge Dayton is expected to rule on these issues within the next week. A former Colorado attorney has been found guilty of killing his wife in Montana almost 17 years ago. The Billings Gazette reports jurors deliberated for about 5 hours Monday before finding Brian David Laird of Fort Collins, Colorado, guilty of deliberate homicide in the July 30th, 1999 death of Catherine Laird. Defense attorneys say they plan to appeal. Neighbors of the Lairds, who weren't interviewed until 2012, testified that they heard a man yelling, followed by a woman screaming. Catherine Laird's body was found the next day in a marshy area south near Fort Smith. At last night's MCPS board meeting, architect Steve LaRue unveiled designs for the first 2 schools to be replaced or remodeled with monies from the recently passed $158 million school bond. LaRue said that Lowell School will combine a remodel of the historic building along with a 30,000 square foot addition.
It has security issues and a lot of different things that we can resolve by turning the entry to the north and give a better tie to the playground spaces and the drop-off areas. There'll be a bus drop-off on the south where the main entrance is now and a parent drop-off on the north side by the new main entrance.
LaRue said the only part of Franklin School that will remain is the gym, and they plan to complete construction as quick as possible.
The way we've designed the building, the new building, we can start demolition and start construction simultaneously. Because the goal is to have the new school, both Franklin and Lowell, up and occupied within 15 months.
If you want to check out those proposals, you can look at the designs on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. And the Republican Party has been in a state of upheaval ever since Donald Trump began to gain momentum in the race for the presidency. Debates have turned nasty, with candidates hurling insults at each other, seemingly right out of the grade school playground. Will Deshaw is the former chairman of the Montana Republican Party. He says that similar problems have existed within the state.
In the past few years, this very same thing has been going on within the Republican Party, but the arguments between the true conservatives, and that is their definition, and the rhinos, and that's also their definition. And so now it's burbling over into the national. And quite frankly, I think it's the same people.
Deshaw said the amount of vitriol is unprecedented in his memory.
I wish that candidates would just talk about what they have to offer and leave the other guy to fend for himself. And they just don't seem to be willing to do that. Or their surrogates are telling them, you have to do this in order to survive.
Deshaw said the situation will become more clear after the Florida winner-take-all primary on March 15th. And that leaves us time for weather. We've got Brooke Foster in the queue. Weather is going to be brought to you this hour by our friends over at Montana Glass. Ask about the energy-saving benefits of new windows at Montana Glass, 550 Hawthorne, next to the West Broadway Missoula Fresh Market. You can give them a call at 728-3180.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
A wintry mix early, but mostly cloudy skies by the afternoon with highs near 50. Isolated shower chance this evening with increasing shower chances Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.